give all students a chance to respond, whether through gestures or response cards or even partner discussions. Students are engaged, they're thinking more deeply, and they're retaining information longer. This interest really led me to wonder, how could we systematically observe and measure OTR in real classrooms so that principals, coaches, even your peers and colleagues could provide actionable feedback to teachers in their classrooms? So that curiosity grew into the research that we'll be sharing today. And it was focused on developing a tool to help make classroom engagement visible and actionable.
So if this is your first time joining us for a webinar, we want to just welcome you to also explore the Center for Reading Science website, where you can become a member with some member benefits that you see listed there. And Mount St. Joseph University is also we are connected to, if you didn't already know that. And we have graduate programs that are also listed there on that slide. There is a QR code that will take you to that website with a link to those graduate programs. And if you are interested in either of those programs, the graduate or the doctoral program, there are some upcoming virtual information sessions that you can register for. And if you're going to be at IDA or TRL, they will have some in-person information sessions to attend there as well, where you can speak with current graduate and doctoral students at the information sessions at those conferences. And if you haven't heard about our preschool webinar series, or you have friends who are in the preschool space, we welcome you to sign up and register for those preschool webinars that are also coming up.
And I'd be happy to stay on after tonight's presentation to talk about the doctoral program. Larissa and I are both recent graduates. We'd be happy to answer any questions tonight.
So, as Kelly already said a little bit, we are really passionate about eliciting frequent responses, especially within the literacy classroom. So whether it's word recognition or language comprehension that you're teaching, we can make our instruction more engaging by eliciting those frequent responses and encouraging active participation. Kelly and I had the extreme pleasure of attending Anita Archer's Explicit Instruction Train the Trainer events the last 2 summers. We had so much fun the first summer that we decided to go back again and really lean into all that she had to offer, especially around opportunities to respond. And as Kelly said, that's what led her to her research in her dissertation, and really creating a way for principals, any school leader, literacy coaches, to really support the literacy instruction that is happening in kindergarten through 3rd grade, and even really beyond the 3rd grade classrooms, to make that instruction powerful. We know that there are good curriculums out there, but teachers are the ones who really bring that instruction to life, and eliciting frequent responses is a big part of that.
So it's always a little bit challenging in virtual sessions to be actively engaged, but during our time together, we're going to invite you to participate in a few different ways. Verbal responses, so choral or unison, where everyone is responding out loud at the same time. You can stay muted. Your family at home may think you're a little bit nuts, but we will ask you, we're going to be looking for those mouths to see if you are participating. Sometimes individuals, we may call in individuals. If you want to just add something to the conversation, please feel free to unmute. We want to make this really informal. We wanted this to be kind of fun. So please feel free if you have anything that you'd like to add or say. We will also be doing some action responses in the form of hand signals, thumbs up, thumbs down, yes, no. Written responses, so we'll do some short written responses via the chat feature. We'll also ask you to be writing some things down on your paper. And then for passage reading, there may be times that you are silently whisper reading a quote or a passage. We'll do some choral reading and also some closed reading techniques tonight.
All right, so let's dive into the concept of opportunities to respond, or OTR. first, we want to understand and define OTR, or opportunities to respond. They are instructional prompts or techniques that engage students actively and encourage their participation in lessons. Can you think of how you might describe these opportunities in your own words? We want to recognize the different types of opportunities to respond. And as Kelly said, those can be verbal, written, or physical actions. But we want to start to think about how you might use these varieties to engage all students in your classroom. Each type offers unique ways to draw students into the learning process. And finally, we want you to consider response rates. For different task types, whether it's simple drills or more complex activities, there is an ideal rate of responses per minute. And this rate significantly influences students' learning and their behavior. We want to really help you think about how to tailor the response types to the types of response instruction that you are doing. Then at the end, we're going to look at effective engagement ratios. It's crucial to balance those whole class responses with individual responses. And we'll dive into this a little bit deeper later on. But the idea is that we want to keep everyone involved and keep engagement levels high. So first, we have the importance of the delivery of instruction, and this is where our teaching comes to life. Remember, it's not just about what we say, but how we say it. So we're going to have our first opportunity to respond here with a closed reading activity. When I get to the text in red, I hope you'll join in with me. So opportunities to respond, or OTR, refer to any instructional prompt or technique that actively engages students and encourages them to respond during lessons, such as verbal responses, written responses,
physical actions,
passage reading, or
using technology.
OTR aims to provide multiple structured opportunities for
student interaction and engagement.
So we want to pose this question to you and ask you to think about this. OTR involves creating a dynamic classroom environment where students can interact with the content through various responses, such as verbal, written, or physical actions. These response opportunities give students academic and behavioral benefits. Studies have shown that structured and frequent opportunities to respond reduces disruptive behaviors and increases on-task behaviors, contributing to a positive classroom environment. It also serves as an embedded formative assessment, allowing us to check and monitor students' understanding, provide them with feedback, and adjust those lessons as necessary. We're going to circle back to this question at the end. So first, OTR is not just about getting students to talk. It's about fostering genuine engagement. When we create an environment where students can interact with the content, whether that's through verbal, written, or those physical responses, we're opening the door for deeper learning. Motivation doesn't just happen. It's built when students feel capable and valued. When we plan for all students to respond, not just volunteers, we show them that their thinking matters. So we want to limit cold calls. Cold calls occur when we do not allow students to have think time or preparation time. We also want to use non-volunteers when we call on individuals. This means we give an instructional prompt, allow for think time, and then call on any student. When we extend think time beyond 3 seconds, good things happen. There is greater participation by all. We get longer student responses, and students use evidence to support their inferences and their thoughts. Scripted programs allow teachers to come to school positive, present, and perky. I know sometimes teachers can push back sometimes against scripted programs. And one of the things that Anita says is that teachers shouldn't be doing that heavy lifting of writing lessons. When we're provided with a strong curriculum, we can let those scripted programs do that work for us, and we can focus on the delivery and bringing that instruction to life. Scripted programs also help teachers bring equity to classrooms by providing the what to teach. Active participation is the how to teach. It's what it brings that instruction to life. And finally, we want to challenge or encourage you to adopt a no hand raise policy. This sets the stage for a classroom where every student is thinking and engaged. Think about the students who are always raising their hand. These are the students who already know it, are assertive, or have the language skills to answer. Also, everyone else comes to rely on those students to answer every time. Pretty soon, they realize that they don't even have to think about what the teacher is saying or doing because they know who will answer for them. So here is a new motto we would love for you to adopt in your class. So this is another closed reading activity. I'll read the motto and I'll have you join in with the red print. So every day in every class, every student is participating by
Speaking, writing,
or doing.
Now we're going to dive a little bit into the research recommended guidelines for response rates. And when I was researching this was a lot of new learning for me, even though I've been in education for 27 years. This was something that was a little bit surprising, and it's not something that was ever taught to me, I guess. So the recommended review rates of response for drill and practice, for instance, is between 8 to 12 opportunities to respond per minute. These responses are brief and automatic. The goal is for fluency and accuracy. Students get lots of fast, correct practice building the foundational skills like decoding and reading or even math fact fluency that support more complex learning tasks. So think about it this way. The more automatic the skill, the more frequent the responses. We should be planning for and seeing 3 to 5 opportunities to respond per minute for simple responses. This is quick thinking, not deep thinking. It includes basic recall or identification like word recognition or literal comprehension or even naming key details. It's still rapid enough to keep engagement high, but with enough pause for students to process. It really is perfect for checking in the moment. And so again, here we're giving students time to think, but not time to disengage. And then for more complex tasks, students may only require 1 opportunity to respond per minute. And these responses require more time to think, talk, or write. Research supports lower frequency, higher depth OTR in these cases, as long as every opportunity is intentional and inclusive. Each of these rates is grounded in evidence showing strong connections to both student achievement and positive behavior. We want you to keep in mind that the goal isn't just to increase the number of responses, it's really to match the right numbers of OTRs to the type of thinking we want our students to do. And this was more new learning for me. In a highly effective classroom, 70% of responses should be from everyone responding And only 30% of responses should be from individual students and not volunteers. This idea often surprises educators, definitely surprised me, because it goes against that traditional classroom model that we all grew up with, where one student answers the questions and the rest really just watch and listen, and then we move on. But here's the thing, passive observation is not the same as engagement. Just sitting there and listening doesn't give students a chance to think through the content themselves. It doesn't give them the opportunity to practice their skills or really show you what they understand. We don't want a few students doing all the cognitive work. If only a handful are responding, then most are missing that valuable practice. And the teacher is missing valuable feedback from the whole class. So over the next few slides, we're going to break opportunities to respond into 5 main response modes. I'm really going to focus in on the verbal, action, passage reading, and written. Use of technology is another way to respond, but even though we're using it tonight, I'm not going to dive too deep into that one. Might be some PTSD from the pandemic, I'm not sure. But for classrooms that are online, there are some other ways to engage through use of technology. Each mode does include different ways students can actively show their thinking, whether by speaking, doing, writing, or reading. And as we go through each type, I want you to think about, what do you already use in your own classrooms, or what do you see in your schools? What you might want to increase, or what you notice during observations. This framework isn't just about counting responses, it's about also recognizing the variety. And that's all the ways that students can be meaningfully engaged. Okay, so first up are those verbal responses. And the lists that we're going to be showing you are not all inclusive, but they are the ones that you will most likely see most often in your schools and classrooms. So choral unison, this is when all students respond out loud together. Everyone says it at once. It's fast, it's efficient, and it ensures that every student is engaged. A consistent student routine does help make verbal opportunities to respond effectively. So you should be looking for students who are listening. The teacher asks a question, think time is given, and then students respond after a cue or a signal is offered. And that could mean like the teacher pointing or saying the word everyone. If students don't respond or blurt out, you just simply do a general redo, giving them another chance to participate thoughtfully. Next, we have individuals. Or those could be cold or warm calls, because sometimes we do need to hear from one student at a time, especially if we're looking for if the student is understanding or we're trying to gather some formative feedback. And this can happen in 2 ways. A cold call is calling on a student without a raised hand. A warm call is calling on a student who is prepped or prompted beforehand. When cold or warm calling, ask the question first and then say the student's name, because this really helps prevent students from just kind of tuning out or waiting to be called on to the next question. Everybody is then still thinking. Individual calls build accountability, and they do often lead to deep thinking and responses, but they should always be balanced with the whole class opportunities for engagement. So less hand raising, less calling on one, and more engaging many students at once. For partners, so think, pair, share, turn and talks. These all give students a chance to process and verbalize their thinking at the same time. Teach students how to work together. Look, lean, listen is one way to really start to show them that routine and process. You do want to rotate the partnerships occasionally. 3 weeks, 4 weeks even. Let those students be together, and then that's less work for you to do too if you leave those partnerships the same. Be intentional about the pairing. Really use your data to guide who works well together, why they should be working. If you follow Matt Burns at all, he has some great tips on how to create your partnerships. Partner work really does encourage language use, peer modeling, confidence in speaking. And it also sets student up for a stronger whole class participation. Team responses involve small groups responding together. This might be answering as a group or holding up a shared card or even giving a joint explanation. And then finally, echo responses. They involve the teacher modeling first and then the students repeat. This is especially powerful for new vocabulary or even academic language development. It helps with pronunciation, fluency, and reinforcing the correct usage. So if you want every student thinking, have every student speaking. When verbal responses are used intentionally and frequently, they really shift the classroom from passive listening to active participation. And then we have action responses. They are powerful because they get students physically involved in the learning process. Many times we see teachers doing, taking a whole break, doing a brain break. But if you're just using more action responses, that's still giving your brain a little bit of a break. And you're getting physically involved. So these are quick, they're inclusive, and they really keep the energy high, the focus high, especially for our younger learners like kindergarten, first grade. Acting out gestures, facial expressions, these responses allow students to show what they understand without needing to speak. Whether it's acting out a word, making a gesture, showing a facial expression, these actions give insight into comprehension in a way that really is engaging. So for example, everybody show me what reluctant looks like on your face. Fantastic. Good job, Larissa. I like your reluctant look. It's great for vocabulary, emotions, especially during SEL lessons and even comprehension checks. If they can act it out, they understand it. Touching, pointing, tapping. These are physical response cues where students may touch, point, tap to something to indicate the answer. It's really a fast way to involve all students without requiring any verbal output. So for example, you could point to a picture that shows the word cat and then have the students point to the letter K in cat. This can be done on paper, a smartboard, or classroom visuals. And these are especially useful in early literacy and content vocabulary. All right, next we have response cards. Yes, okay, response cards have so much valuable research behind them, and they are not used very often. When we were in Anita Archer's training, she did use response cards quite a bit. And what a great, impactful way to just quickly see how the participants, how the students are responding to the information that they're learning. So they give students just a way to show their answer instantly. It can be an ABC card, a yes/no card, a word or number card, and every student participates at once, and the teacher gets real-time feedback. I think that after this, Larissa is going to be sending you a little thank you, and we'll give you a link to a response card. They really help with pacing, engagement, and error correction as well. And then finally, we have hand signals. Hand signals are simple, silent ways to respond. We're going to be doing that in a little bit. Thumbs up, thumbs down, number of fingers, specific gestures taught in a lesson. Especially, there's been a lot of research that goes along with teaching an action or a gesture or a hand signal to go along with vocabulary words. They do support all learners, including those who may be shy or need the processing time. These are all great for formative checks, classroom management, and keeping momentum high. Next, we have written responses. These give students a chance to slow down and organize their thinking, show what they know in a visible and concrete way. Whiteboards or slates are some of my favorite things when I was a classroom teacher. Using whiteboards or slates with a 1, 2, 3 show routine allows students to respond simultaneously. They do give the teacher a quick snapshot of understanding, and they provide rapid formative feedback for the teacher as well. They also do encourage students to participate without the fear of being wrong in front of the class. And then we have journals or guided notes. These would support a deeper kind of reflection and reinforce academic language. When structured well, they guide students to summarize, explain, or apply what they're learning. They're useful during content lessons, read alouds, or vocabulary instruction. And they also strengthen writing fluency and content connections. And then finally, workbook pages. These can support independent application, but only if paired with a clear purpose and teacher follow-up. To be effective, a workbook should use, to be effective, workbook should be active but not passive. So maybe even consider incorporating a quick review, a shout out, a check-in after the completion. Everybody point to number one. What did you write for number one, especially if it was just like a quick, 1 word, 2 word response. But even brief writing does support process and retention. And then there's passage reading. So these are all replacements for round robin reading. I wanted to say that. They are all replacements for round robin reading. We should really not be using round robin reading where one student reads aloud while the others listen, because it's inefficient and it's often embarrassing for students. Most of the class is disengaged while only one student gets to practice. So we're going to talk about different things that we could be doing to replace round robin reading. Tracking opportunities to respond during passage reading can actually be challenging because students may be reading silently or with a partner, making it kind of hard to observe and count responses in real time. So a useful guideline is to aim for at least one opportunity to respond per minute for each student, whether that's through reading aloud, a partner discussion, or comprehension checks. But having a clear routine like partner reading, core reading, guided reading questions, it helps students be more engaged, and it is a little bit more visible and easier to track. So real quick, in partner reading, the students take turns reading out loud to each other, peer support, accountability, and you're also helping students build fluency and confidence. It also aids in comprehension. Listening to a partner also gives students a chance to provide general feedback, and it does allow the teacher to observe reading strategies and engagement in real time as well. Silent or whisper reading. Students read to themselves in a quiet voice that builds stamina, independence while allowing practice. And I don't know if any of you use Acadience reading, but we noticed this week that there is a whisper read subtest. So we're kind of curious about that, and I'm guessing that it is going to help us measure comprehension. So I'm looking forward to learning more about what that is going to be in Acadience. Next, we have choral reading. Whole class reads aloud in unison, and that builds confidence and fluency for all learners. Closed reading techniques, we've tried a few of those tonight, where the teacher reads aloud and students fill in the missing words. It keeps everyone's focused, and it does reinforce vocabulary as well. And then we have echo reading. The teacher reads, the students track the print and then reread together to build fluency and accuracy. This is also a really, really great way to model prosody or expression. The goal is for every student to be actively reading, not waiting their turn. These routines make reading meaningful, frequent, and supportive for all learners. All right, Larissa, you ready to give everybody a little test? A little quiz?
Yep. Let's do a little bit of formative assessment here. So you're just going to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the following questions. So the first one here, true or false? The benefits of increasing opportunities to respond include increased time on task, increased learning, and reduced disruptive behaviors. True or false? And let's see, lots of thumbs up. It is true. All right, agree or disagree? When examining opportunities to respond within a lesson, we should have frequent responses that involve all students and provide adequate think time. Okay, and lots of thumbs up, agreed. Great. And the next one, yes or no. During a lesson requiring simple responses, 1 to 2 opportunities to respond per minute would adequately engage students. Right? That is no. We want to aim for that 3 to 5 opportunities to respond during lessons requiring those simple responses. All right. So I just want to take a moment. We want to circle back to that question we asked at the beginning and really think about the significance of eliciting those frequent responses from our students. We know it's crucial for teachers to foster an environment where students are actively participating. And this active participation, again, not only enhances that learning, but it keeps students involved and invested in the lesson. We're decreasing those any negative behaviors we might see. And it also helps us gauge how well students are understanding the material that we're presenting to them. By asking for feedback, we can immediately adjust our teaching strategies on the spot and better meet students' needs. All right, and when students are engaged, they are more likely to stay on task, creating a more positive classroom atmosphere. So, as we move forward, think about and remember that the way we elicit responses can significantly impact our students' learning experience. All right, are we ready to give this a try, Cal?
I think so. In a moment, we are going to be watching a short 5-minute video clip of Dr. Anita Archer teaching vocabulary to a second grade class. So even in just 5 minutes, you'll see a high density of student responses, and that's the point. If you have a piece of paper or something to write with, can you please take that out? We want you to make a T chart on your paper. Add the letter E for, oh, I need to get mine too. Add the letter E on one side, and that will be for everyone responses. And then add the letter I on the other side of the T chart for individual responses. So let's walk through how we'll use this T chart during the observation. We're going to be making tallies on it. You'll simply tally whether Dr. Archer offers each prompt to everyone, E, or an individual student, I. You're going to see and hear lots of structured choral responses, partner talking, and echoing the teacher. These are going to count as verbal responses. For action responses, you may notice quick gestures, hand signals, or thumbs up and down. Those are going to be to show understanding. Just a few reminders before we watch. Really focus on what Dr. Archer prompts intentionally, and don't stress about getting every tally. Just do your best to catch the patterns. The goal here isn't just to count, it's to recognize how frequent, inclusive, and intentional student response opportunities can be an effective Tier 1 instruction. So we're going to do a 5-minute observation.
I'm going to get my timer ready.
Get to see the legend in action.
All right. Okay.
I think that we wanted to consider starting the video at 2 minutes, 7 seconds in, Larissa, or just 2 minutes in.
Ooh. Good memory here. Okay. If I can get down. All right, first of all, did everybody hear that sound? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Could you hear that, Kelly?
I could not.
What?
No, I could not. I'm sorry.
You could not hear it. Okay. All right. If someone is familiar, there is something I have to have special turned on in Zoom to be able to get that sound to play.
So
And
Larissa, I think you have to, oh,
yes.
I heard it.
You did hear it?
I heard her too. Thanks,
Oh, you
Bethany.
did? Oh, Bethany, thank you. I am trying. Okay, now I can get to the slider bar. Okay. You could hear it. All right, I'm gonna press play again, see if we can hear it.
No.
When you might have to stop sharing, and then when you share again, there's a little button that says optimize for video sharing.
So
You
hit
click
stop sharing.
stop sharing,
Okay.
and then when you click share screen,
Okay.
before you actually share, there's a little button that says optimize for video.
And also click share audio.
Okay.
It's usually towards the right-hand side of the screen.
Before I hit, I'm sorry, say that again. Before I
Hit share first,
share. Okay.
and then before you choose
Oh.
like which screen to share,
Yep.
there should be an optimize for video and or audio.
I see it. Okay, let's see if that works.
Part everyone is next one is press, and the whole word is impressed. So you are impressed with something when you think something is really good or someone is really good. Now you remember in the story, at the beginning, they were not impressed with Wolf's reading. When I think something is really good, or I think someone is really good, I am what, everyone? Impressed. I'm what, everyone? Impressed. So, for example, if you turned in a story, and it had a title, and a main character, and a problem, and told me what happened in the beginning, middle, and end, I'd say, oh, that is so good. I am what, everyone? Impressed. If you did all of your math problems, and you had numbers that were really neat, and I could read them all, I would say, oh, thank you. I am so impressed. All right. Now, let's just pretend here that we go off to your house and we go in your bedroom and each of us come out and we say, oh, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Now pretend that we are really impressed. Put your thumb up, and as soon as you can think of why we might be impressed. Oh, I got an idea. Okay, so you're going to tell your partner why you're impressed, but you're going to start out by saying, I was impressed because. What are you going to say, everyone? I was impressed because. So first ones and twos. Tell your partner, if we went to her bedroom and we said we were impressed, why would we be impressed? Go.
I was really impressed because the room was great.
Excellent. And your idea? What would be really? Maybe she had lots of toys. So say, I was impressed because she had lots of toys. Can you say that?
Or maybe
His turn. Go ahead. Say it. Excellent. Okay, looking up here. So, using I was impressed. So, tell me your sentence. I was impressed because the room was clean. And your sentence? I was impressed because she had a lot of toys. And right here. I started out, I was impressed. Okay, now we're talking about a room. I'm impressed that you know how to do math. That's excellent. But make it match the room. So we went to a room. Maybe she had lots of dolls. And you said, I am impressed because she had many dolls. Can you say that? Excellent job. Well, once again, this word is what, everyone? Impressed. I am very impressed with you. Last word is educated. What word, everyone? Educated. When we learn something, particularly how to read and write, we say that then we are what, everyone? Educated. So when we come to school here and we work on learning how to read and write, we become more what, everyone? Educated. But then when we go to 3rd and 4th and 5th grade and we learn more and we get more and more knowledge, we become more what, everyone? Educated. And when you go to middle school, you're going to become more educated. When you go to high school, you're going to become more educated. When you go to college, you're going to become more educated. Excellent. Now, I'm going to tell you about one of these words. As soon as you know the word, put your thumb up. I'm thinking about a word that means that you've learned to read and write and maybe other kinds of knowledge. Put your thumb up when you know that word. And whisper to your partner the word I'm thinking about. Okay, so when you've learned to read and write, then we would say you are educated. I'm thinking of a word that means I think that something is really good. Put your thumb up when you know the word. Whisper to your partner. And the word is what, everyone? Press. I am thinking about a word that means you really know how to put all of your thinking and attention on something. Whisper to your partner. Excellent. Excellent. And the word is what, everyone? Yes, now, these are words that you could use. For example, maybe you are sitting in the library with a friend and you want to read and they're being very noisy. You could say, oh, please be quiet, I need to concentrate. Or maybe your friend writes a beautiful story and it's really a good story and you say, oh, I am impressed. Or you could go home at night and say, oh, I'm learning so much in school, I am definitely becoming educated. Excellent job, everybody standing up. And
Okay. All right. That was about 5 minutes, I think. Okay. All right. Oh, perfect. All right. So take a minute, count up your tallies, and then we'd love for you to type your number in the chat. So you can give us the total number. You can give us a breakdown of those everyone versus individual if you like. But we just want to take a minute to think about how many opportunities she gave for students to respond. Great. Yep, I'm seeing 20, 25. Good, 21. 22. I also had 22. Great. 28, 24, everyone, 5 individual. Wonderful.
And no matter what, there's still going to be just a little bit of subjectivity when you're doing an observation, but I would say that for the most part, we had some pretty decent inter-rater reliability. So that was awesome, everybody. I got 29. And if you're looking to figure out how many opportunities to respond per minute, if we were observing for 5 minutes, we would divide 29 or whatever your number was by 5. So I got about 5.4 opportunities to respond per minute, which is, of course, right in line with what the research says. So it's just always so wonderful to get a glimpse of Anita Archer teaching children in a classroom. It's just always so evident to see how much she loves, but also how much she prepares her lessons. That was phenomenal. And again, like that's so easy to do if you just take that time to really script the lesson and prepare and rehearse the lesson ahead of time.
Yeah, and I think, Kelly, scripted programs, the lesson is there, but this is often not baked in to programs or curriculum. So thinking about looking over your lesson ahead of time and finding where those opportunities are going to be for, thinking about those 3 types that you focused on tonight, verbal, action, and written, where you can bake those in to your already existing curriculum. I think that's really the power in learning and just becoming aware around eliciting frequent responses so that we can really bring that curriculum to life. Because I think, seeing a lot of teachers do a great job of using those scripted programs and using those lessons and delivering it as it was intended with fidelity. But this isn't baked into most programs, and that's where we can really do the work instructionally to enhance the learning for students.
Yeah, I would say that fidelity has kind of become our new F word. You want things to be occurring with fidelity, but really, when you're waiting until the end of a story to ask those 6 to 8 comprehension questions to a kindergartner or a first grader, they're rolling around on the floor, they're doing handstands, they're spinning in it's too much. It's too much. So taking those questions and embedding them in throughout the story, to do a turn and talk or just a quick formative assessment with one of the action responses, we're finding so much value. And one of our fun activities at Tier 1 meetings is really just to take a look at an upcoming story, and as a team, just kind of embedding in those opportunities to respond to increase the engagement.
It's a great group activity. All right. So Well, I'm going to let Kelly take it from here, but I'm just going to quickly say that, going down this path, learning about how we can elicit frequent responses. And then, I serve as a literacy coach and a consultant to schools in the Cincinnati area. And as you remember, Kelly said she was a principal. So this led to Kelly developing a tool that could be brief and really objectify a walkthrough or an observation that could support teachers and students, but really support teachers in enhancing their instruction by eliciting more frequent responses. So Kelly, do you want to tell them a little bit about your tool here?
Sure, and we're actually going to have a part two because we didn't want to overwhelm everyone tonight. But if you want to sign up for part two, Larissa's going to be sharing a date in a later time, and we'll share this tool with you. We will do some more modeled videos. We'll use the tool, and really talk a little bit more about things to look for during an effective observation or things to do just during your everyday teaching and learning. But the tool does have a checklist of what you can look for when you are in the classroom. It has the opportunities to respond broken down by category, like we talked, that brief, easy calculation. I will say now that I have something that I'm really looking for when I go into a classroom, it's helped me be so much more efficient with my time. And I'm only spending like 10 minutes, 12 minutes in a classroom. I'm giving the teachers such valuable data. And it really is just kind of, I think, kind of transforming our culture in a way, because I'm not giving subjective, well, I think you should have, why didn't you? It's more, hey, these are how many opportunities to respond you offered in this lesson. Maybe think about some things you can do to increase, maybe add some variety. But those conversations are happening naturally because we're looking at the numbers now. And it's not me subjectively coming in and saying, well, here's a suggestion, do this, do that differently. So that's been pretty wonderful to see that transformation happening at our school. And it's actually kind of cute. Some of my teachers, before I leave, Dr. Betty, how many did I have today? Like, they want to know their numbers. So there's some goal setting that is happening, which is the other part of the tool. There's a collaborative goal setting guide, and it has just ways to do some calculations to look for that response ratio of 70% for everyone, 30% for individuals. There are some collaborative guiding questions, so you can really have some deeper conversations to be reflective about what you're doing. Like maybe you weren't offering a cue, and so it feels chaotic because everybody's just shouting out at once. So talking through somebody that may have observed you, like what would you have done differently? Should I have done like maybe my turn, your turn, or just simply saying the word everyone? So leads to some great conversations. And then goal setting. So maybe a teacher offered one opportunity to respond per minute, but it was more visual and practice kind of an activity. So they want to set a goal to maybe offer 3 the next time you come in. So let the teacher set that goal. Let them set a time so that they have time to practice, they have time to rehearse. And then if you are an observer, respect that time. Don't go back into the classroom to offer any feedback. You can still go in and, just visit with children, of course, but wait until they've had the time to rehearse, to practice, and they're feeling confident, and then go back in and offer some more feedback by doing another walkthrough. And again, we will be offering a part 2 and talking a little bit more deeper about the tool and offering it to you if you do want to use it in your classrooms and your schools as well.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
So as we wrap up, we just want to take a moment to reflect on everything that we've covered today. We'd love for you to use that paper and pencil. You can write down any bright ideas, takeaways that you have had from today's session. This is also just a great way to solidify your thoughts and inspire future actions.
If you're feeling brave, share your ideas in the chat too. I'd love to see what you're thinking. Larissa, maybe you can answer that question from Judy. Will slides and notes be made available?
Yeah, I will share the recording and the slide deck with all those who registered. Yeah, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask at this time as well.
Yes, upping OTR and higher ed literacy courses. Bethany, nice. Leah, you know I love me some Matt Burns.
I'm gonna have to check that out too, Leah. Yeah, Margaret, all of our students responding, yeah.
That's a really good point. Research showing how many repetitions new learning requires.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, we just want to leave here with a quote. We'd love for you to take a moment and read this quote on the screen, and then just go ahead and signal to us that you've finished reading the quote by giving us a thumbs up.
I love that.
So Anita Archer just reminds us that equity is in the actions we take, and when we plan for every student to think, say, and do, we're not just improving instruction, we're opening those doors for every learner. So thank you for all the work that you do and for the opportunities that you create for students every day. And we're just going to wrap up by repeating that new motto back to ourselves. So
Let's
go ahead.
unmute for this one, right?
What?
Let's unmute
yeah.
for this one.
That's a great idea. Yeah. If you want to go ahead and unmute, we'll read our new motto. Everyone.
Every
day,
day,
every class,
in every class,
every student
is
is
participating
Participating,
by
speaking,
speaking,
writing, or doing.
And we have a reference section at the end. And thank you. If you'd like to stay on, if anybody has any lingering questions, please go ahead and feel free to ask now.
Thank you. It's great spending some time with you this evening.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a great rest of the week, too.
On my Tuesday.
It was good to see you, Kelly and Larissa.
Hey, buddy. How are you? There you are.
Good. I was wondering, have you guys heard of the Iowa Reading Research Center's motorcycle tool that they came out with?
Yes.
Oh,
I haven't looked at it, but I'm wondering if you have and what you thought of that.
I did. I would say it's pretty similar. It's I'm actually looking it up again, Leah. Because I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, they have a whole research team that's been developing, and it was released right after my dissertation.
No, what's it called? The motorcycle tool?
Yeah.
Yeah, they spell it MOTR.
Yes.
And I guess it stands for Measuring Opportunities to Respond, Cycle of Coaching and Feedback.
Oh.
Let me see.
Well, that's clever.
Look at it too.
It is, yeah. I